Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Walking in Circles. And at the sound of the trumpet, when the people gave a loud shout, the walls collapsed. So every man charged straight in and took the city. Joshua 6:20. They must have looked absolutely insane, marching around an armed and fortified city like kids parading their special toys, blowing their little ram's horn. That's not a way to fight a battle. The people of Jericho must have peered down from their walls at the Israelites circling their city and shook their heads in confusion. Crazy ex-slaves. They had heard so much about these people, and now what a disappointing sight they were. Yes, their fighting men walked in front of the priests and behind them, but none said a word or even appeared threatening. The priests walked with trumpets instead of swords, and they carried on rods a golden box crowned with 2 angels, an ark, they called it. Jericho's residents had been frightened and awed by the dry path through the Jordan. But this silent marching army, how did these ex-slaves think they'd overcome a large fortified city such as Jericho? But we all know that they did. For 6 days they circled Jericho once a day, their feet throbbing on the ground, the trumpets sounding now and then. But on the 7th day, they circled 7 times. Then there was an ear-shattering blast of trumpets, a roar of voices, and as the song says, the tall, wide city walls, with their towers and battlements, came tumbling down. I can only imagine the shock and terror of the city residents as their lives collapsed around them. Did they even have time to understand how it happened? We don't know. All we know is that Israel did things God's way. They may have looked foolish, but marching around the city and shouting turned out to be much better than a bloody battlefield confrontation. I admit that doing things the Lord's way often sounds downright crazy. We're afraid of how stupid we might look if we do exactly as He says. We don't want to look like idiots to our friends, but God knows what He's doing. The way He asks us to live is so much better than going our own way. Obeying His commandments leads us to a much easier life. No going to jail for crime, no cheating on your wife, no angry fights with your parents, and a vacation every week. Just a better way of living. So if you feel hesitant about doing things God's way, remember Jericho. Friends might think you're stupid, but in the end it will be clear that God's way was the best. May God bless you today.